Mark unfortunately passed about 6 months after Sean passed, so I'd like to recognize him as well. On May 6, 2008, Sean Stevens, a faithful wife, a mother of 3, and a grandmother, took a walk at the Lorain County Metro Park, Carlisle Reservation. She walked in an area commonly known as the Duck Pond. While walking, Miss Stevens was shot in the back, beaten, sexually assaulted, stuffed into the trunk of a car, and left for dead behind an abandoned building. At the time of this assault, Sean Stevens was assisting her husband with the support of their family through her private cleaning business. Her hobbies were gardening and walking in the park. After May 6th, 2008, Sean Stevens would never enjoy these hobbies again. The gunshot wound that she suffered paralyzed her from the waist down, and thereafter, she was unable to move even her upper body without excruciating pain. She would suffer from illnesses related to this injury for the rest of her life. The perpetrator of this offense, Matthew Plas, age 25, pled guilty to all charges related to the attack on Sean Stevens in November of 2009. He was sentenced to serve 33 years in prison. Sean Stevens would live another 12 years, either in bed or confined to a wheelchair. Tragically, Sean died on December 28, 2019, at the age of 55. In January of 2020, Lorain County Coroner Frank Miller ruled that Sean Stevens died of complications proximately caused by the original gunshot wound to her spine. Shortly after Dr. Miller's ruling, the case was sent to Lorain County Prosecutor Dennis Will for review. The case was presented to Prosecutor Will, but never sent to the grand jury. Indeed, even after I was elected, though I was unaware of it, the Sean Stevens matter stalled again. As late as May 2021, a major trial attorney in my office told reporter Dave O'Brien that he was reviewing the Sean Stevens case to determine whether murder charges might be brought against Matthew Plas. However, more than 1 year later, and without notifying anyone that the case was pending, that same major trial attorney then quit his job working for me and failed to deliver the file to grand jury prosecutors to consider murder charges. Finally, contact was made with us late in 2023 by the family of Sean Stevens, wanting to learn the status of Sean's case. The file was then quickly located, and the matter was given to Major Trial Attorney Matt Kern and to Investigator Buddy Seivert for evaluation and referral to the grand jury. Last week, because Assistant Prosecutor Peter Gauthier refused to plea bargain the first case, and thus, when Sean died, we had the element we needed to charge the aggravated murder. I would like to thank the press and the family of Sean Stevens specifically for being here. This is an important day for Sean and for the county at large. Thank you for being here. Though justice has been delayed in this case, it will not be denied. We are going forward. And this for Sean, if we could. Thank you. And with that, I can open up the floor to any questions.
I guess first, obviously this is something that you were not aware of when you took office.
Right.
But why was it so important to get to this point for you?
Well, I was telling the family earlier today, you know, I was a young lawyer in 2008. I think I'd been practicing for only a year. And I remember hearing and reading about this case in the media, and it haunted me for many reasons. One is when I was a kid, I used to go to the duck pond with my family. And my instant thought was that could be my mother. And so that's what makes it so important. It's such a random act, such a violent act for somebody that didn't deserve any of it. And the fact that she had to live her life with that reminder every day, 33 years is not enough, especially after she passes with a wound that's related to the original gunshot wound to the spine. So that's really what made it important, is that just because it was years later that she passed doesn't make it, that's still a murder case.
And I'm curious because this isn't, I mean, this is a very unique case.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about, obviously, how many cases like this have you guys ever been around?
Do you mean that passed later on and charges are then added?
Yes.
You know, it happens, but it doesn't happen very often. Yeah, that's accurate. It doesn't happen very often.
How challenging does that make?
I'm pretty satisfied that we're going to be able to meet those elements. I'm satisfied.
You talked a little bit about this. Justice was stalled, and I think that's the biggest piece
Yes.
of the story as well. You know, apparently somewhere along the lines, ball
Yeah.
dropped. How does that make you feel? As you know, now the family had to bring it back to you.
Awful. You know, even though I was unaware of it and I should have been made aware of it, I still have responsibility. And I'm willing to take that responsibility, but I do want the family to know that I was not aware of it, and had I been, it would have been immediate. As soon as I was made aware of it, we took immediate action. But there is no scenario where I'm happy about the delay. No way.
Is this double jeopardy?
No, it's not, because there was no plea bargaining that occurred originally. He pled to the indictment. And so because criminal offenses have elements, that element of death had not occurred yet. So that's why there's no double jeopardy issues.
Is he in jail?
He is. He's currently serving a 33-year sentence, although he's probably been brought back to the county jail to stand trial for this particular matter.
He was arraigned yesterday.
Thank you, Pete. He was arraigned yesterday.
Do we have a mugshot on file or?
We can get you one. Yes, no problem.
If not for murder, what was the original 33-year charge for?
There was a ton of. I've got the docket sheet from the original because I expected that question. There were several counts. Obviously, those counts included kidnapping, aggravated robbery, attempted murder, felonious assault, attempted rape, tampering with evidence, having weapons while under disability, gross sexual imposition, carrying a concealed weapon, and all those had specifications for a gun as well, because a gun was used during the committing of the offense.
Did you say, was there any connection here with the two? I mean, was this just random?
We believe it was random. I don't think we had any evidence otherwise. And it was very haunting, because I think as he passed her, he said something to the effect of, peaceful day out, or something to that effect. So, I mean, to me, that was just, it just was haunting. It's been like that for a long time. I've thought about that case. Every time I drive by the duck pond, I think about the matter.
Does someone from the family like to tell us about Sean and come up to the microphones?
You don't have to.
Go ahead.
Would you like to?
Nice, thank you.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please say and spell your name first.
My name's Carol. It's spelled Carol. Sean's not my biological mom, but she took me on when I met her when I was 4 years old. My great-grandma was raising me, and I didn't have a mom, but she was there for every moment of my life. My first school fight, she stood up for me and went against the principal because the person hit me first. When I was out kissing a boy, she came and picked me up and smacked me around and and gave me my first true mom lecture. She was there for my first child, the birth of my first child, and he took away a grandma to the children. She would have taken them to the zoo all the time and to the duck pond, and she would have babysat all the time, but she wasn't able to. And she always visited that park. She was just walking through the park to pick mushrooms and look at flowers, and he walked past her and said, "Isn't it a beautiful day?" And she went to turn around, and that's when he shot her.
How did her life change? I know the prosecutor explained it, but you knew her personally.
The medicines made her gain so much weight. And you see her in those pictures, she was beautiful. And I'm not saying she wasn't beautiful all the way to the end, because she was beautiful. But she wasn't happy. She was depressed. And she didn't want to get up. And she didn't want to do anything. And he put her on death row. For 12 years, he put her on death row. That's how I see it. She had to suffer for 12 years in pain. It wasn't just she couldn't move her legs anymore. She was in pain. He severed a nerve in her spine. And if anybody's had nerve damage, you know that's painful, and there's nothing they could do for it. So for 12 years, she laid in a bed with pain, taking multiple medications, and she missed 12 years of her grandchildren. When this happened, she had 3 grandchildren. We decided to all have children at the same time. So she had 3 5-year-old grandchildren, and then 2 of her daughters were pregnant. And then her other daughter already had a kid. So she had 4 grandchildren and 2 grandchildren on the way that she didn't get to go to the park with, or take to the zoo, or go to the vacations. And yes, we had holidays, but she didn't get to go see them in the other room. If they left the room she was in, she didn't get to go. So he took everything from her and from us. And I don't think even the moment that they gave that sentence, 33 years is not enough. He just had gotten out of jail when he did this. He had been out, I think 3 days, and I might be wrong, but I think it was 3 days that he was out, and they let him out on good behavior. He's a tier 3 sex offender. Do you think he's not going to come out and do it again? And he can't even say sorry? I don't think he's ever said sorry. I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Follow up to Carol's last comment.
Yes.
What was his previous criminal history?
I'm not completely aware of his criminal history. That was a question maybe I should have anticipated. Obviously, he had one.
Sure.
I can follow up with that, though.
Okay.
No question. Yeah, I can get that pretty quick.
And they were all local charges? I mean,
These were obviously, but yeah, those other ones I won't know. But I will follow up and give you guys that access to that information.
You mentioned that cases like this don't happen a lot. Do you have any other, cases sort of in this same vein that you're looking at still, or is this the only one of its ilk, really?
It's the only one of its kind that I'm aware of, yes. Down the road, obviously, people may pass from injuries that they sustained during an attack. But as of now, yes, this is the only one of its kind.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And please, thank you to the family.
We'll
Thank
have
you.
packets of information we'll provide you. Give us a couple minutes. We will get you a picture of him. So give us a couple minutes and get us some details.
We should stay here. You want to print out a couple pictures?
Yeah, we'll stay here. We'll get them for you.
Okay. Give me a minute. We're going to grab one.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, Jim.
Okay, all right. But I got my tail kicked out of the rain. Oh my God. I don't know. I was our last PLF, so Admiral King, when I was a freshman, Admiral King used to be my favorite place to go to watch a basketball game. And I got to play before they joined, and then when they joined, it was like unfair. So,
Yeah, they're always at there.
Whereabouts do you live? Where do you live?
I live in Amherst Township now, but I grew up on Final School. So I was kind of in the rural area.
Thank you.
Class, I think, is the red. I don't know how to pronounce it. Class or place. No. Class, sorry. I started.
No, the one you're just talking about.
Yeah, no, he was secret.
A lot of it was already.
Yeah.
He hasn't given any accountability for his actions. There hasn't been, and even
Where is the duck pond?
I don't know about the case.
301.
he was saying it's all the fault of his neighbor, and, he doesn't remember anything like that.
Carlisle Township Fire Station.
You know, if you take Middle Avenue right now, take all the way south.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys. Get to it. Thank you so much.
Of course, I can see you guys.
Yes, we have. Yes, I knew you were familiar.
Something like that, small, blow it up. Yeah, it'd be great if you could. Thank you. If I could mention it. So is that.
Hey, you can blow that up, John.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, Brad, he missed his calling, man. You gotta get out from behind the camera. Yeah. Arnold has nothing on him.
I was trying to count when you were listening.
I think she missed one when she was listening, but I.
I missed, I said, that's,
You have three.
So is she pregnant at the time of year?
Yes, yes. Pregnant at the time.
it's SHAFFER.
And that's Carol with no E.
That's correct. Those have. I would be like the second oldest.
She's a middle.
A middle, there's two middles. Let me show you.
You all live in Lorain?
No.
Yeah, you don't.
Area.
We need you out here about 3 o'clock. Yeah. We can't afford you, man.
How do you spell your last name?
SHAFFER. No problem.
Trying to say everything.
No problem. She deserves it. It's like the last thing I could do.
What's up, brother?
One last question.
Oh, I'm surviving.
How do you spell Sean?
I can't hear you. What's up?
Okay, that's what I. And
No, I gotta wait for some mugshots and stuff.
Perfect.
Oh, that's cool.
If you would like to, you know, leave a message and I can give you a call back, or my sister's as well, I'm sure, and the prosecutor has all of our contact.
Well, I'll figure that out. I mean, we don't have any, we should have filed that in this case.
No, that's what you go back when you were.
Okay, and was there footage of his, Lorain?
Well, I'll try to shoot that, part and then I'll get back.
You know what, you would have to be booked in the county jail.
Well, just assume I am. All right. All right.